Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And this one actually is a request. It's from JimJimPlays. And it is, well, it's the return trip of a video that we did not all that long ago. So we are on the Great Eastern Main Line. And yeah, we are starting at Harwich Town and our destination is Liverpool Street. So yeah, like I say, the return trip of that particular video. So much so that he wants us to stop at the same stations that we stopped in that particular video as well, which is fine. We shall certainly do that. Where it does differ from the previous video is that, yeah, the loco choice. So there was actually a bit of a late change. And originally he was going to choose the class 321. The 321 is a decent loco to drive, but it's not the most interesting as far as trains go. You know, it's pretty bland. There are not very many that I think are more bland than the 321. However, the class 360 is most definitely one of them, and that's the one that Jim changed it to. So yeah, cheers Jim. So we are in a 4-car class 360. The reason I've gone with 4-car is because, yeah, certainly while we are on the Mayflower Line, there are some pretty small stations here that we are going to be stopping at. So yeah, it kind of needs to be 4-car. Once we're off the Mayflower Line, we could have been like, you know, 8 or 12, but what the hell, 4 it is. As far as the specifics go, yeah, he really wanted to make this one as tricky as he could. So it's winter, it is raining, and it's 10:30 AM for, you know, what difference that makes. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be as straightforward as it might have been. Anyway, that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. And here we are, and the first thing you will see is that yeah, this happens every time on this line. It's actually got us starting at the wrong end. We are, yeah, right here at the buffers, so we do need to switch ends and then we can start to get ready. We also need to raise the pantograph because, yeah, it starts off down for some reason. There you go. So yeah, here is our 360. Let's get the doors open. I mean, rather like the 321. Yes, it is extremely bland and dull to look at. It has nothing to give it any sort of character. But it's not a bad one to drive, actually. It's all right. The doors are shut. Let's get underway. Now, this is the first video I have done since I changed to my PC. A change that was rather forced on me. I now have a new keyboard and a new mouse, and I'm still getting used to the keyboard. It's a lot smaller than I'm used to, so there is every possibility that at some point I'm going to be pressing the wrong keys here, there and everywhere, and this run could go horrendously wrong. I can also let you know one of the reasons why Jim chose this route was because he wanted to see if we are able to join the Great Eastern Main Line and head straight to Manningtree, or if it's going to send us all around the houses like the previous video did and have us going up to Ipswich. Well, I can tell you it does send us straight to Manningtree. We are not going to be sent all round Ipswich way or anything like that. So in that regard, yeah, everything is going to be fine here. As we approach Dovercourt, where we will be stopping. So, here we are. Yeah, it doesn't look like the most welcoming of places when you're here in winter, especially when it's winter and rain. Waiting for the guard signal. It's not coming. Alright, okay, let's get underway. Don't think we're going to enter the 45 in time. Oh, that was close. So we'll get some speed up, but yeah, it's not long before we are back down to 25, and then the next station, which is Harwich International. Yeah, it's too slow with the response there. Yeah, Harwich International with its rather pompous name, and again we will be stopping there. So, although I was braking very lightly, I was also braking way too early. Alright, so here we are then at Harwich International, Harwich Port as it really should be. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it would have been that busy here this sort of time of year and in this weather, but yeah, clearly it is. Right, we're not going to get the guard alert, so we'll just get underway. Now that is our last stop while we are on the Mayflower Line. Our next stop is Manningtree. So we got a bit of a distance before we get there. So at least we're now into a 40 zone. No shortage of sidings around here. So just under a mile, we are up to 60, but I don't think it lasts very long before we're back down to 40 again. So 1 in 75 uphill section, thankfully quite a short one, but still 1 in 102 is still steep enough. So we're entering the 60 zone. And there we go. Right, let's get some, well, half decent speed up. There'll certainly be a difference in speed once we are off the Mayflower Line. But for now, 60 is not bad going. So Radness station is very much on the route display now, but we are not going to be stopping there. So even the overhead cam view doesn't exactly exude, you know, a train with a character. Well, like I say, it is pretty good to drive, but yeah, that is about it. Well, I say that is about it. I mean, as far as the drivers were concerned, that was all they were interested in. And I don't think passengers really cared what the train looked like, as long as the journey was somewhat comfortable and somewhat event-free. So, Rabness Station, quite a short one. Quite, nothing really standing out about it. So we still have one more station on the Mayflower Line. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, we're on 1 in 94 downhill section here. And now going uphill. 1 in 122. And in these conditions, yeah, that really is going to slow us down. And now we are back to going downhill again. It's not what you would call steep, 1 in 173, but it is enough for us to be increasing speed. Especially now, it's 1 in 122. Get us back up to around 60. So missed the station. That's the last one on the Mayflower Line. I think it's relatively short before we are back on the Great Eastern. Hoping we would get a trackside view. We still yet get one. Or not. Speed was coming down at a fair rate there. 1 in 121 uphill. Again, it's the gradients are sort of like up, down, up, down, up, down, all over the place. We are going downhill again just as we enter Mistley Station. For now, the ground is pretty much levelled out, unless you consider a 1 in 4,486 downhill, you know, steep. So yeah, here we are at Mistley Station. So you can clearly see what's the I think 25 there, that's the actual points as we rejoin the Great Eastern Main Line, and we rejoin it straight at Manningtree. This 35 section, I think that's where there's a curve, and a fairly tight one. And in these weather conditions in particular, you would certainly want to be paying attention to that. So we're on a 1 in 94 downhill section, which would explain why our deceleration is absolutely pathetic. We've got to be braking a bit more heavily than that. There we go. And we stay on this 1 in 94 downhill part pretty much until we get to Manningtree station itself. So obviously we are fine as far as the speed limit here. We're in the 35 zone. You go over the bridge. So yep, that way there to the right, that would have been taking us to Ipswich, but it hasn't done that. It's actually sent us the right way. So here we are now back on the Great Eastern Main Line. So here we are then at Manningtree. So anyone from Harwich who was actually wanting to go to Ipswich, yeah, this is where you're getting off. Thought we were going to get the guard signal this time, but no. Right, onwards. We are now on a 70 section, and in just under a quarter of a mile that goes up to 100. 100 is the maximum operational speed of this train. I'm pretty sure it can do over 100. So we still have just over 59 miles. I think the next stop is Colchester. So we're in the 100 zone. Oh, the distance in speed that we can do here compared to yeah, the old Mayflower Line that we've now left behind us. There we are, we've got our side view. And that's what we wanted. So now that we're up to these sorts of speeds, the gradients that we encounter aren't really going to be any sort of issue. Although, I think, yeah, now we're off the Mayflower Line, I don't think we have much in the way of gradients to really worry about anyway. Another 360 passing us. This one's significantly longer, 12-car train. So we have a speed decrease, and we have some pretty hefty speed decreases because we are approaching Colchester station. So we are going over points just as we enter Colchester station. Looks like it's giving us two options as far as platforms, 4 and 3. But we'll stop at 3. We've got to be braking a lot harder than this. That red aspect up ahead is the line next to us. It's not us, so this might be where we change the line. Yeah. So there's another 360 in Colchester Station. So this is the longest platform of any station in the country. Colchester platform 4. We're going to carry on going. We will not stop until we're on platform 3. I don't know why it switched our line. Only to now, yeah, move us back. It was a good job it did, because yeah, we were heading towards buffers. It does also have me questioning the claim about platform 4 being the longest platform, because technically what they do is, yeah, they combine 4 and 3 together. That's not one single platform though. So yeah, I think their claim is a bit dubious. So here we are at Colchester. Alright, let's get back underway. So we are straight in the 90 zone, less than a quarter of a mile. We're into another 100 zone. So our next stop is Whittam. So anybody wanting the Braintree line will be getting off there. So we're in the 100 zone now. I think we've got a fair old gap actually before Whittam. Or is it the gap between Whittam and Chelmsford that I'm thinking of? We've also got a fairly hefty climb coming up, but so at this sort of speed that we're doing, currently at 87 and climbing, I think we'll be alright. So it's 1 in 160 uphill. I thought it was going to be steeper than that. Okay, it is steeper than that now, 1 in 123. Actually slowing us down, even though we are in notch 2. We'll let it keep doing that. We'll regain that speed once we're at the summit, which is any second. But once we pass the next signal, that will be us on the summit. Here it comes. So Markstay is the next station, but we're just going to be hurtling through there. So here we are, Manningtree station. Not sure where that branch that was heading northwards was going, but no. I mean, it must be going Suffolk somewhere, but yeah, don't ask me where. I only live here. Well, I live in the county anyway, but I'm a lot further south. Calverton station, next station, but yeah, again, I'm not stopping there. So here we are at Calverton. Yeah, just hurtling on through. Got a lot of yellow signal aspects on the other line. I'm not seeing any actual trains. Anyway, Whittam station is now on the view display. So we need to start losing some of our speed here. So we need to be staying down at a much better rate than we have been. we have a class 90 coming through. Okay, so here we are at Witten. This line here, that is the Braintree branch line. So yeah, anybody wanting Braintree definitely has to get off here. There's only one entrance to the Braintree branch line. You've got to come from this direction. Doors are shut. So onwards. I think we have a bit of a yeah, fair distance to the next stop, which is Chelmsford. And I think we are going to be able to do 100 for the vast majority of this part of the run. I just realised why we are not hearing the guard signal. It's because it started us at the in the other car at the other end, and it only ever sends the guard signal to yeah, the driver cab that you started the running, which for us, yeah, was at the other end. The end it was facing the buffers at Harwich Town. So it is still sending the guard signals. It's just that it's sending them to the wrong cab. So Hatfield Peveril is next, and as is so often the case with that station, we will just be going straight through it. I'm not stopping there. Yeah, very much in the open countryside area here. It is also somewhat flat. There's not a hell of a lot to see around here. So yeah, here we are, Hatfield Peveril. Yeah, not a great deal there. As we pass, I don't know if it's a mill or a cement factory, cement works, but it's certainly one of the two. Was hoping for a trackside. Maybe the next camera will be more to our liking. There you go. we have what looks very much like, yeah, another Class 90. Quite a slow moving Class 90, but nevertheless. Mind you, Class 90 is a bit, it's one of those that has rather deceptive looks. It certainly looks like a high-speed train, not least because it does somewhat resemble a Class 91. But yeah, its top speed is, top rated speed is 110, so it's only 10 mph faster than this thing we're in. So we won't worry so much about the 85 mph speed production. It's the 60 that's coming along after it that we need to pay attention to. But this must be Chelmsford, and it is. We're more or less in line with the 4-car marker. So, yep, Chelmsford Station. Well, I've got a couple of the buses of the right colour, but yeah, these red ones, they're definitely not. It's good to see the first class part of this train, because I'm sure there are plenty of people travelling from Harwich to Liverpool Street who will absolutely demand first class seating. So thankfully we are not in this 60 zone for too long. Although, yeah, the next zone is 85, so it's certainly not the fastest that we are heading towards. So I think that's the A12 that we're just passing over. Now in the 85 zone. So our next stop is Shenfield, but I think the next station is Ingatstone. looks like our speed is pretty much a constant here. I'll certainly take that. Okay, so it is reducing, but at a staggeringly slow rate, one that I'm certainly okay with. So yeah, Ingatstone is the next station, which we will just be heading straight through, and Shenfield is the next one after that. What have we got here? We've got a class 59. I don't think you would have seen very many 59s on this route. I mean 66s, yeah, plenty, but was not expecting a 59, and certainly not a light engine 59. Just while we are on the subject of freight locos, I think it's tomorrow Jim is planning on doing a freight run as we go through Ingatstone, and yeah, he's going to be doing that in the class 66. I don't think I've seen him drive a 66, certainly not in Train Simulator Classic, so yeah, I'm quite keen to see that one. And then in return for this request, I have another one to send his way, but I'll be making that request after he has done his class 66 run. So we have speed limit reduction again in just over a mile and a half. Come down to 75. Ah, and there's why Shenfield Station. Probably not too far away from where the South End line joins us here. There it is. So now it's 4 lines, 4-track route from here to London. That's on top of the 1,000,001 sidings that we have at this station, and several others as well. So, Shenfield Station, the snobby part of Brentwood. Relatively short stop, doors are shut. And away we go. So we've got plenty of stations that we go through now, but we do not stop again until Stratford. Another short 360. So Brentwood is the next station. It's quite close by actually, but yeah, it's a station that doesn't actually get used all that much. It's only like these slow trains that stop at Brentwood. But, you know, semi-fast, fast, express, all just go straight through it. So this 1 in 104, which is now 1 in 90, it goes on for a fair bit. So here we are at Brentwood. So it is quite a nice part of Essex, is Brentwood. It's also a fairly expensive part, thanks almost entirely to its yeah, the fact that it's a great place for commuters. The railway connections there, because they're so good, yeah, the house prices absolutely skyrocket. And then Shenfield, like I say, that's the snobby part of Brentwood, so the house prices there are even higher. But we're talking the South End line, all you got to do is go back one station and then you're at Billericay, and the house prices are a lot lower because the commuter you know, connections are still absolutely fine at Billericay, but then it's just not as good as Brentwood. So Harold Wood is the next station, one of plenty that we are just going to be going through. So yeah, here we are at Harold Wood. And then we have Gideon Park pretty close by. I don't think it's even a mile and a half. Yeah, just over a mile. Yeah, this route from Southend to London is certainly a damn sight faster than the Fenchurch Street line. That one, the max speed on that line anywhere is 75. Here, yeah, we're doing 90 for a fair old chunk of it. So, Gideon Park. And then very soon afterwards we have the shithole of Essex that is Romford. So, yep, here it is, Romford Station. How delightful. Class 66. So, yeah, we'll be seeing Jim one of them tomorrow. I don't know if it will be a Freightliner one. I have a feeling it's going to be an EWS one, but delivery doesn't really matter all that much. So Chadwell Heath is at the next station. So, yeah, there we go. That's it. And then it's practically walking distance, and we're at Goodmays, and then walking distance again to Seven Kings. So, yeah, these three all really in quick succession. I mean, they're not as ridiculously close as Maryland is to Stratford, but it's still, you know, has me wondering why on earth they need so many of these stations. So there we go, that was Seven Kings. No, it wasn't, that was Goodmayes. Seven Kings is coming up here. And after Seven Kings, I keep saying about Romford being the shithole of Essex, but Ilford runs in a pretty close second. So yeah, here we are at Seven Kings station. Looks like another class 90 there. It is. So there we go, Ilford. Another absolute festering shithole of a place. And we have Manor Park. Manor Park right there. Next up is Forest Gate, and after that is Maryland, so we definitely probably going to need to start coasting, ready for the stop at Stratford. So well, yeah, there you go, you can see just how close the three of them are to each other. So yeah, there we go, Forest Gate. Looks just like all the others. Since we've got in the Wazzers. Another 66. And EWS one. So that's the one I think Jim will be in tomorrow. So anyway, this is Maryland. Sleazy Maryland, as I certainly consider it. So here we are at Stratford. It's not Stratford International, that's another part of the station. Well, it's this part really. Yeah, for some reason they sort of divided the station up into two, so you've got Stratford, which is the shithole bit that we're in there, and then yeah, you have Stratford International, which is the pompous bit. all set. So the last 4 miles, no more stops, heading straight on to Liverpool Street Station. So there we have the hideous eyesore monstrosity tower. I don't care if that's not what it's called, that's certainly what I refer to it as. And then yeah, the Olympic Stadium, the West Ham United ground, and they are welcome to it. Mind you, I always remember when Barry Hearn was making a bid to make it the home of Leyton Orient. I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't think Leyton Orient ever really need a stadium with that sort of capacity, you know. It's almost as bad as the new stadium that Birmingham City have, you know, they issued the plans of. It looks hideous, it looks like an absolute monstrosity. And it seats, I think they said it seats 63,000. It's like, what, to watch Birmingham City? I mean, that's the very embodiment of blind optimism there. You're really going to need a stadium that seats 63,000 to watch Birmingham City play. We have another Class 90. I mean, what's next? Let's develop Loftus Road so it can seat 120,000, you know, to watch QPR, for fuck's sake. We've got a good few speed reductions. We also have the somewhat steep downhill section coming up where it's not quite an underground entrance to Liverpool Street Station, but it's not that far off it. So we're just passing Bethnal Green Station, although no trains on this line actually stop there. I think it's only trains on the North London line that actually stop at Bethnal Green. But I mean, why would you use it anyway? Just use the underground station for it. At least that's what I always used whenever I went there. I had plenty of occasions I was in London, I wound up in Bethnal Green. Not that it's a sort of like touristy sort of area or anything, it's about as far removed from that as it's possible to get, but yeah, I had quite a few mates who lived up and around Bethnal Green. It's alright, it's one of those parts of London that has a terrible reputation, but it's actually, it's fine. So we're in the 30 zone. This is showing that, yeah, we are going to be crossing points. Which is a good job really, because we've got a lot of red lights coming up. I do not want to be getting any sort of like spads or anything. Except, yeah, I think we've just got one. There we go. I was doing absolutely fine up until then. I think I've got to put the brakes into the emergency myself and then release them. I was doing really well here until that moment. Well, that's still showing line, I think. Yeah, so why are the brakes not coming off? Come on, stop pissing me about. I'm this close. There we go, that sounds like they came back on. Well, I'm trying to turn the cab light off, but here we go. Then I wasn't paying attention to the speedo, so yeah, I was doing really well up until then, and then I pick up two big old errors straight away. Well, I can certainly see why we had to stop. There's another train on this platform. What train is it? Oh, it's another 36. 36, another 360. But yeah, no one here is going to be particularly thrilled to see this. So let's just make sure we got the whole train on the platform, and then we'll stop, and then we'll pretend it didn't happen. So yeah, not a good ending, that one for sure. Anyway, that was oh yeah, I can't do the outside view because according to the game we're now underground. It treats this station like a tunnel. But yeah, so that was Harwich to yeah, Harwich to London Liverpool Street. There you go. And I was doing really well on that run right up until yeah, you could see the platforms of Liverpool Street Station, and then all these operational errors came in straight away. A complete and utter balls up of an ending. No, can't have everything. So there we are. It was all going so well, but at least we made it there anyway. I almost certainly would have been sacked for pulling into the station while there was another train already there. On the same platform as us, but nevertheless, we got the passengers there, and that's what matters. Well, unless you're one of the shareholders. So that brings this video very much to an end, and we will see you at the next one.